Eren and the female Titan finally square off in what could be the best episode of the series in my review of Attack on Titan episode 21. I just got done watching this episode, guys, so I am so freaking amped. And it's really awesome because this has been like one of the best weekends ever. If you guys didn't know, I just went to Dragon Con 2013 with my good friend Christian. We got to hang out and party with all these people at the greatest sci-fi convention ever, and the entire weekend was capped off by one of the most badass Attack on Titan episodes I have ever seen. I am completely blown away by this one. It was one of the most emotionally action-packed episodes I've ever seen of the series and of any anime, period. This episode wastes no time. We immediately pick up from last week. We get to see that Eren and his group are continuing to escape when suddenly they are ambushed by the traitor who killed Gunther in the last episode. Eren is freaking pissed. He doesn't know what to do here, but his teammates want him to escape. They feel that he's incredibly important, and they want him to trust in him. And there's this really great scene where it looks like they're just going to take down this female Titan, and you get to see the group of Eldo, Petra, and all the others just taking on the female Titan using all of their badass 3D maneuver gear. The team here is a bunch of badasses. They manage to blind the female Titan and make it so that they can continuously attack her. Flying all over place, cutting this bitch up, trying to cut her arms down and shear them down so that she can't hold them up anymore, and it looks like they're almost going to come out on top, but right as they're about to cut through her neck, they all start getting eaten alive. The female Titan was able to concentrate on regenerating one eye, and then proceeds to kill all of the other teammates one by one. This scene tore me to pieces. I couldn't stand it. Watching it was really tough. And I'm not gonna lie, I got very misty-eyed watching this whole scene, and I frankly got very angry. It's one of the few times I've watched an anime series and I could literally feel my fist clenching with anger. All of their deaths were horrible and violent and awful. It was just terrible. And what's sad about the whole thing is it all happened right as Eren was watching and as he was doubting himself. And this, of course, causes Eren to go into a complete and total rage. And this is when he decides to turn into his Titan form, in what is honestly one of the coolest transformation sequences I have ever seen. The way he bites his fist, explodes out, and slides across the forest floor, just roaring with anger. What follows is truly an epic battle on every sense of the scale. We finally get to see these two square off, and I love it. I love how they make everything seem so massive and powerful. And Eren is a badass, but so is the female Titan. They trade so many cool blows, and they each use a lot of really interesting abilities, particularly the female Titan. I love when Eren uppercutted her into the air and got right on top of her and wanted to just beat the hell out of her, but his arms kept like exploding and breaking and shit. It was so intense. What I loved most about this scene, though, was Eren's emotions, because he actually has a little bit more control over his Titan form now, and you actually get to see his thoughts when he's, like, beating the hell out of this female Titan. And like I said, it's super emotional, because he's basically saying this entire time he should have transformed into the Titan. He could have prevented all of this. But it doesn't matter. Now he's just angry. He's just pissed. And I love the scene where he's like freaking out and he's just thinking, I just want to rip this bitch to pieces and I just want to fucking eat her. Like, that whole scene just gave me such goosebumps, I can't explain it. The female Titan fights back with a lot of her really interesting abilities. She still has the one where she can, like, harden parts of her body. And she does this one where she punches Eren right in the face with it. And she knocks off the lower part of his jaw. And while his jaw is still touching it, he just drags it across her arm and starts to punch her back. It's all animated so fluidly and so nicely, and it makes it seem so massive and awesome. So you think that might be the end of the episode, but no, they actually give you a little bit more, some really shocking stuff. The female Titan is not giving up. It looks like she's about to run away, but then they both turn to each other, and then she does this one move where she just takes off the whole top part of his head, and she takes out a tree at the same time. It's so friggin' brutal. And then she goes over and she starts to open her jaw. It's like ripping open. It's so fucked up looking. And then she just chomps down on Eren's body. And what's fucked up about this is Mikasa is watching the entire time. She is finally caught up. And then we finally get to see some Mikasa action, which is so great because I just love watching her. She's obviously very pissed to see that Eren was just eaten by this female Titan, and she believes that Eren is still alive. And at this point, I do believe as well. And then we get another awesome action sequence where Mikasa continues to cut up the female Titan. And it's just her, and she is just being a complete badass. But eventually she is stopped by Captain Levi, who decides they need to back up a little bit. They have to retreat, and they have to figure out another plan. But even Captain Levi doesn't know if Eren is alive. So let's see. 10 out of 10 episode. Hell yes, for pretty much every possible reason. Animation was awesome. Lots of really emotional moments. The action kicked ass. All of the colors were good. The music was awesome. Everything just worked in this episode, and it had really good pacing. The pacing was so good, in fact, that the episode seemed like it was only 5 minutes long, but maybe that's because I was so emotionally invested in this one. Next to episode 13, the episode where Eren is able to block the hole with the rock. I think this is probably my favorite episode. Obviously, I'm an action junkie, so I knew I was going to like this episode. But truly, it's the death of Eren's teammates that really hit hard this week. I did not see that coming. And it pretty much just shows, if you're going to watch this series or end up reading the manga series, don't get too attached to anybody because they can get killed at a moment's notice. Eren's anger this week was expressed so incredibly, whether it be through the Titan, or even I love that one scene where they go inside of what he looks like when he's inside of the Titan's body when he's talking about eating her alive. He just had this like really messed up smile on his face, like he just wanted nothing more than to kill this female Titan, and it's... they haven't even revealed who the female Titan is yet. This episode, freaking awesome. 10 out of 10 from me. Probably my favorite episode of the series so far. And if you guys are following it, you must check it out. It is awesome. So, did you guys like this week's episode of Attack on Titan? Do you have any favorite moments? I'd love to hear about them in your comments below. Remember guys, before you leave, make sure and give the video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support these videos. That and maybe seeing some of the other ones that we got up top. I will see you next week, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.